Okay, it's 9 o'clock. I'm not sure. Let me see if I'm actually... Testing 1, 2, 3. I am live. Okay. We got one person in the room. Cool. Can you just let me know if you can hear me okay? In the chat. Where is the chat? I'm not that great at doing this, so bear with me. Hey, what's happening, Chris? Cheers, mate. Actually, you're not one of the trumpet jocks that I was talking about, but I don't really understand a lot of your videos, but that's okay. Hopefully you're making money from it. Bear with me for a second here. I got to figure out how to get my chat to come up here. All right, cool. Beautiful. Welcome. So the sound is good. The sound is good. Everybody can hear me okay? Hello. Cool. 2 people. Let's wait and see if a few more people show up before I get started. Okay, good. Awesome. John Dante, trumpet owner. How's everyone doing? Everybody's in the US, huh? 9 o'clock in the morning? On the East Coast or where? I just want to wait and see if a few more people show up before I get into my spiel. Nikos, where are you from? Hold on one second, guys. Greece, wow. Cool. Thanks for joining in today. Hello, wow, Poland, Europe, cool. Awesome, we got 4 people. Kick ass, kick ass. I made some notes last night because I want to just talk a little bit in the beginning, and then I can put a link to the stream, and maybe we can get somebody else on the stream too to talk a bit. So basically, I wanted to get into this live stream stuff because, you know, you can't pre-package trumpet instruction and just put it out there. I mean, it's like for people that are really trying to figure stuff out on the trumpet, it's like finding a needle in a haystack. Someone will put out, you know, an hour-long video, and there might be like 30 seconds of it that relates to you and the problems that you're having. Trumpet playing isn't like doing an oil change. You know what I mean? Like if you want to post like how to change the oil on a 1975 Volkswagen Beetle, like that's going to work for everybody, right? But if you're talking about something that can be as labyrinthian as the trumpet, then it gets a little bit more confusing. So first of all, I want to apologize for neglecting this channel for so long. I was trying to build another channel, and I was getting really into doing video editing and stuff like that. And I got kind of caught up in it, and the channel basically went nowhere, and it was millions of hours of editing, so I didn't bother continuing it. But yeah, I'm going to go full steam with this channel now. I want to do lives. And again, like in the trumpet world, there's plenty of prepackaged stuff out there. People selling courses, you know, people selling devices and all this stuff. And it's just, I don't really believe that that's the way to approach, you know, really helping people and getting a real dialogue going with trumpet playing. I think you have to be live, and you have to like answer specific questions and discuss certain things in real time. So, you know, that's why I'm going to do lives, and I don't need to make money from doing it. You know, I'm paid great already, and I want to pay it forward. You know what I'm saying? And I want to be really genuine and honest with, you know, in my approach. So, you know, with the advent of the internet, like suddenly the entire, you know, sum of global knowledge is at your fingertips, and you can find out all this stuff to do. But trumpet, it just does not work. Okay. So the problems with social media is like, there's too many people out there giving their unsolicited advice about stuff, you know, I mean, and they're not really topics that anyone's really asking for. And, you know, people, the way they package this stuff, it's just not going to work for everybody. They, you know, it's like, you got to take it from the source. You know what I mean? Like when somebody is giving you advice about something, you know, about your trumpet playing or something like that, you should vet them, you know, like, you know, listen to how they sound, listen, you know, see what kind of job they're holding down, and if they're respected in the industry, all that stuff. You know, you got to take a snapshot of the whole thing and really figure out what the source is before you start like taking their advice hook, line, and sinker. But the problem with all this prepackaged content is that it's not a dialogue, you know, and we need to have a dialogue. So what else was I going to get into here? A lot of this content that's out there in the trumpet world is like copycat stuff. It's just regurgitated stuff that everybody else has said a million times before. Chest high, this and that, you know, it's breathing, you know, there's still people making breathing videos and stuff like that. It's just an outdated paradigm. So the future, I think, of this medium, like the internet and stuff, is if you really want to help people and help yourself at the same time, because I'm also learning, like to be like sharing ideas and stuff here on the internet live, like in real time, having people join into the stream and giving their input and stuff. I'm really, there's a couple of really amazing guys out there talking about the tongue controlled embouchure, which I'm really intrigued by. I think I kind of play a little bit like that already, but I would like to take that to the next level. So I'm still trying to like figure out things so I can get my playing to the next level. So yeah, I think like brass vlogs, they've adopted like this cable news media feel to them. And again, it's not a slam, but you know, there's a video out today, and again, people are going to spin this and try to get me in trouble. And you know, I don't care. I'm not saying anything negative about the people. You know, Ryan Beach has got a really professional vlog out there, really professional, and he's an awesome player. But the format is just too cable news for me. And it's not an interaction, it's just a prepackaged thing that you're throwing out there and hoping somebody's going to get some use out of it. And I think that, if these guys could spare the time, it'd be better for them to do what I'm going to start doing, and join a live conversation. So I think that's pretty much all I wanted to say at the beginning. I want to build a community here, a global community, and I want you guys to feel free to ask me anything you want, or if there's any specific content you want me to make, I'd be happy to do that as well. So I'm going to get a link to the stream here and put it up and throw it in there. And if people want to join, just hit the link. I've never actually done this before, but it'd be cool. Yes, this is a good question. I play more or less with a TCE way. Yeah, I mean, the tip of my tongue is always touching my bottom lip, always. And sometimes it does stray. I mean, it's something that I have to really keep in control. When I was younger, I used to have a retainer glued into the back of my bottom teeth. And that was like a home device for my tongue. And when that fell out, my playing like bombed for a while, and I was trying to figure out what the hell was going on here. But I didn't realize that the tip of my tongue was really tuned into that metal bar that used to be there. And once it left, my tongue didn't know where home was anymore. So I had to like really think about it. And still, sometimes I get lazy. But yeah, knowing how to troubleshoot these kind of problems is like something that I've had like way too much experience with. I got 30% hearing loss. I basically had to learn how to play deaf because my eustachian tubes are basically stuck shut all the time, and I have to equalize like that all the time. So yeah, I'm really good with near-death experiences. If anybody is trying to bail themselves out of any weird situations, I've been through a lot of that stuff, so I'm happy to share any experience about that. And like I said, if you want to join the stream, hit the link. This is the link here. Get yourself a cold beer or a wine. Oh, Chris, you got a hearing problem, is it? Yeah, 25 years of sitting in front of the percussion section and next to the trombone section, I don't think helps my case. But I also had really, really loud car stereos when I was younger, and I don't think that helped. I have wicked tinnitus. There's a Boston word for you, wicked. Wicked tinnitus ringing in my head right now. So 5 people in the room. Who wants to ask a question? Who wants to join the stream? Hopefully more people will show up. I don't have high expectations. It's the first one, but I'm just going to get on a regular schedule of doing this. Left ear, 100% deaf. TBC. What's TBC? Wow, you're deaf completely in one ear. That sucks. And I got to admit that I was a little bit like apprehensive about this because, there's a good reason why I haven't like ever joined like the International Trumpet Guild and all that stuff, because I don't, whenever I think about getting around a group of trumpet players, I have like this post-traumatic stress of going to the New York Brass Conference when I was a young player and seeing thousands of guys trying to scratch out double C's in the instrument exhibit room there. and the cacophony of all of it and the chest puffing and all that stuff was like way too much for me. So like, so I was a little apprehensive about starting a trumpet community, but the good thing about this one is if people don't get what I'm trying to do here, then I can just block them or whatever. Trolls and stuff like that. I do have some. Okay, we got a question. John, do you practice anything apart from the trumpet? For example, meditation, spiritual improvement, improved playing in different areas of life? Absolutely. It's a great question. I'll be honest with you. I obsessed about my trumpet playing, basically like to really unhealthy levels, through the first like 4 years of my first orchestra job, with New Mexico Symphony. Like I did brass quintet for 10 years when I got out of Boston University, and I was super obsessive about my playing. And then I had to learn how to play in an orchestra, so I obsessed like for the first 4 years. And then I had to consciously try to back off a little bit because it was like out of control. And I felt like the more I introduced other things into my life that I enjoy doing, like the better my trumpet playing gets. You know what I mean? And that's continued. I've I don't take completely off the horn when I'm not working with the orchestra. Of course I don't, because I got to teach and stuff like that and stay fit for the next week's concerts. But I do take 1 day off, 2 days off a week completely. And I find my playing is way better. I quit warming up completely about somewhere around like 2011, I think, 2010. I stopped warming up after I saw James Morrison. He came and played with us in Singapore once, and the guy doesn't warm up at all. And I hung out with him and talked to him about it. And he said he warms up in his brain. And by the time he plays his first notes, feels like he's already played. So I've gotten to that point where I just pull the horn out and take the A. I do meditate, not as much as I should, but I always enjoy, like it always helps when I do it. And I try to do it like 3 times a week, just for 10 minutes. I can't sit there for 30 minutes, unfortunately. But I can get a solid 10 minutes in, and that usually like straightens me out. But yeah, I'm striving to do more meditation actually. But I am a big advocate of finding other things in your life that you enjoy, because your passion for those things will bleed into the music. I mean, I love boats. I love motorcycles. I love computers. I'm really nerdy that way. So I feel like the more I allow myself to enjoy other things besides music, like the better my music and my trumpet playing gets. It's pretty cool. I just got this new mouthpiece today, by the way. I'm having this metal allergy, and I can't play because I live in a condo, but I have this new, it's called a Giddings mouthpiece, stainless steel, because we were doing like Bartok concerto for orchestra a couple of weeks ago, and like after the second rehearsal, I felt like somebody put a hot iron on my chops, and they were like twice the size as they're supposed to be. And I've been going through this sporadically for the past few years. It seems to be escalating. So I switched to my nylon mouthpiece for that concert, and I had one of these stainless steel mouthpieces FedEx to me. It feels really bizarre on my chops. It feels super slippery. So I hope that answers your question, Wojciech. And let me know if I'm pronouncing your name right. Yeah, 1 day off a week. I take more than 1 week off a year. I take like a lot of time off, and it's good. It's really good. But then again, I've got my playing really dialed in right now. I know exactly what I'm doing for the first time. I mean, I can make it better, but I have 100% confidence that I can take a week off and be ready to play in like a few days. If you shed in the practice room, what do you have to make music about? Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I played it. I have a 1C acrylic. I have two of them from Pickett actually, and then one of them actually broke because the back bore threaded in so tight that the acrylic cracked. But I got two of them luckily, and I really like it. But I feel like the sound loses a lot. There's a lot of sound coming out the side of that mouthpiece because it's not metal. But I like the sound of it. I mean, and my colleagues seem to like it, but it doesn't have the projection of a metal mouthpiece. That's why I wanted to fool around with this thing. But I think it goes too far into my mouthpiece receiver. But yeah, it feels super slippery on my lips. I'm gonna have to really check it out tomorrow. How's this microphone sound? Does it sound clear? Yeah, I like the Pickett brass mouthpiece. I played on his metal 1C with a 24 throat and a a two back bore. I have like the 0, 1, and 2 back bores. They're awesome mouthpieces. Love the sound. But I had a reaction from that also. So I think I have to do the Jeff Kernow thing and go with plastic now or stainless steel. Awesome. Hey, Ben, congratulations. Kick ass. You're in the Asian Youth Orchestra. Chris, yeah. I played gold plated mouthpieces in the past. I played a 1B gold plated for many years, and I never had any issues with that, besides how huge it was. But yeah, I haven't had a mouthpiece with reasonably decent plating on it in a long time, because the older I get, the less I like to, fuck around with mouthpieces. I like to just play what I know works, and then I have like a couple of Bach mouthpieces that are really, really old, and the plating's really wearing off of it. And I think that's part of the reason I started getting this reaction too. So I could set them out to be gold plated, I reckon. See if that helps. But it's just too scary when your chops start reacting like that, and you got to play a big program. It's stressful. So having that nylon mouthpiece on standby is a big help. Where are you now, Ben? Are you in Tianjin? Or are you in Vietnam? Cool. The most important factor that plays the role in keeping the lips responsive. The tongue, the tongue position, honestly. I mean, I've had I'm in the tropics now for I don't know how many years, like almost 20 years living in the tropics. And then I'm from Boston, where I was going through hellish seasonal temperature swings. And then I'm in the sun here. Sometimes my chops get burnt. And I feel like if my tongue is in the right position, when I'm playing, then the lips will buzz. I think that is the most important thing. When my tongue starts creeping back in my mouth, that's when things start going wrong. I don't really put, I play with dry lips, so I don't really put like any chapstick or stuff like that, chop saver and all that. I don't like having slippery lips. I like the grip, you know what I mean? Yeah, the plating's definitely going. Cool, man. You're going to be masters. And then you guys are going on a pretty good tour of Asia, right? You're going to go to Japan and all that? We're going to go to Japan and Australia next season on tour, SSO. It's going to be pretty cool. Kevin asks, what are some things you do to get the tongue in the right position? Love your videos. Thanks, Kevin. Thanks for watching. Well, basically, if you just completely relax your tongue like that, if totally, your tongue is totally dead, and then try to maintain that position as you breathe and release the air, it will want to stay there. You know what I mean? But if your tongue is really tense, I find it's hard to, or if it's like a hot dog shape, this is another problem. I play with a really flat tongue. Like my tongue is between my teeth, like my molars, like that, at all times. That means if I'm playing the opening of Carmen or if I'm playing Alpine Symphony, it's going to be like that. You know what I mean? So I find when I'm breathing, if I can really relax it and I can feel like the whole tongue along here, not just the tip, but all the meat of the tongue, then it'll stay there. And then I try to not curl my bottom lip around it. That was another problem I had recently, where when my retainer fell out, my bottom teeth really started to flatten out. They used to be more curved, and they flattened out. They're really flat now. And as they flattened out, it started playing with my mouthpiece position, and my bottom lip started going underneath my top lip, which is not good. That's not how I play. So now it feels like I'm putting the mouthpiece here when I play. I'm like shoving a lot of top lip in there and just putting very little bottom lip in the mouthpiece. It feels like in the mirror, it looks normal, but it feels like there's like no bottom lip in there at all. Hope that helps your question. Tip of my tongue is constantly touching my bottom lip. Yes, that's correct. Yeah. Yeah, it's like TCE, tongue controlled embouchure. I don't completely play with that, or else I would be able to play a lot higher. I think I've only hit a double C twice, and it was like pianissimo, so it doesn't count, But I have made like, I don't know, $1.5 million with never playing a double high C, so that's good. Let's see, 2 concerts in Singapore about middle August. Yeah, I'll be here. I'll come and check you guys out. Definitely. Yeah, Chris, TCE is all about that. It's about constant contact, and they even talk about like curling, keeping the tip of your tongue on the ridge of your bottom teeth and curling your tongue over. I know guys that play like that, like really well, and I can't play like that. But my tongue is definitely touching. I think Pete Bond put out a video a couple days ago too that he plays like that as well. Oh, dude, you got to try it. You need to try that, Chris. Yeah. It's really makes trumpet playing a lot easier. Cool. 6 people in the room. Yes, hit the like button. This is cool. So what night, can you guys make some suggestions what night of the week would be best for this? A weeknight is preferable, so I can keep my usual weekend regimen. But if you guys have a preference what day you would like to do this, let me know. While we're doing this, I'm going to see if I can share my screen and play a couple videos that I don't want to say they annoy me, but they kind of do. Like, I just want to show you the kind of videos that I don't want to make because they're just obnoxious. Let me see if I can share my screen. Present. Let's see. Share screen. Which screen is it going to Oh yeah. Okay, good. So this video, check this out, guys. This is
Hello, everybody. Good to see you. Hope you're all doing well. In today's video, I wanted to talk about something that's pretty under
Can
talked
you
about
guys hear
among the
that?
trumpet community, surprisingly, and that being embouchure changes. And just through my experience, through talking
Okay.
to people who have gone through similar things.
Can you guys hear that? Can you let me know if you can hear the video when I play it? Somebody? Anybody? Okay, you can hear it. Okay, good. Okay, so this is a video by Kyle Pogline. Okay, I don't know him. I've never heard of him, but just check some of this out.
Through talking to people who have gone through similar things, it's kind of one of two things. And the first one being where it's just a slight adjustment, where maybe it's roll in one of your lips or just move it slightly to the right, just to recenter where your aperture is. And then the second one being where you're completely creating a new embouchure, like where it's tucking in both lips or completely moving it from here to here, And unfortunately, in my experience, I've had to deal.
Okay, so he keeps referring to his experience. Okay, just remember that.
With the latter half, where you have to completely create a new. What was that movement? I don't know. Where you have to completely create a new embouchure for yourself. And to be honest, this is one of the hardest things that any trumpet player can do. So hopefully shedding some light on my experiences will be able to help people who have gone through this or people who are currently going through this. Now, important disclaimer, everyone is different. Everyone's change is going to be different, and we're all going to experience progress at different rates.
Okay, so that could have been the whole video right there. I mean, like, sorry. I mean, 156 subs. I Googled the guy. I'm sure he's a nice dude, and like probably a pretty killer player. He's got the AR mouthpiece and all that. I mean, but I mean, is he really qualified to be like giving people advice on changing embouchures and stuff like that? I mean, I'm scared shitless of doing this stuff with my students. I try to avoid this at all costs, and unfortunately, I've had to try and go there a couple times recently, and it's like the worst thing you can do as a teacher is like try to see a student through such a thing. And here it is as a YouTube video, just blasted out to the world. I mean, again, maybe the best of intentions, but like, what do they say? Like the path to hell is lined with great intentions or something like that, heart in the right place, maybe, but helpful. I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure. So there's an ocean of this stuff out there. I mean, there's so many people making videos about trumpet playing, and some of them are great. Like Charlie Porter does a nice job, like how to form an embouchure, like that's a great video, Charlie Porter's video, because that's a basic thing of how to set the mouthpiece. And I think just about everybody can relate to it. And it's not, he's telling you to set it in a certain place. He's telling you how to find it, basically. And that's what everyone's going to do. Everybody's going to be on their own journey, and everybody's going to find their own way with the trumpet. Even Tom Ganch said that, like Tom Ganch doesn't do many master classes and stuff like that, because he thinks that you can give people some information, but everybody has to find their own way with this shit. It's like my career is bits and pieces of like tons of stuff from tons of different people. And when I was going to school, Charlie Schluter was playing principal trumpet in the Boston Symphony, and he was doing this like double breath thing where he was like taking a huge breath and then stacking more air on top of that. And like, that was the big thing. Like all the Boston guys were taking this huge double breath and like filling up like they're playing tuba. And then you got guys like Fabrizio Basso. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this guy, Fabrizio Basso. He's an Italian badass trumpet player, really amazing player. And he teaches his students to breathe by telling them to hold their shoulders like this and breathe, so their back fills up. You know what I mean? And that kind of makes sense, right? Because your lungs are in your back, right? I mean, they're not, your lungs aren't in the front of your chest. You got all your vital organs there, right? So your lungs are kind of in the back of your rib cage. So if you hold yourself like this and breathe, you do take a full breath. And when you yawn, that's kind of what you do also. But then again, there's amazing trumpet players out there. One is a great friend of mine, Adam Rappa, and he says that when he breathes, he thinks about trying to touch his shoulder blades together, which for me creates a ton of tension. I can't do that. I can't have my shoulders pulled back so far and, you know, stick my chest out like that. It just feels really bizarre. I just basically lift my whole rib cage when I play. I don't think about I don't think about this, or I don't think about, you know, all this weird stuff. But like, you know, Adam is the genius player, man. Just one of the greatest. And if you guys haven't heard of Fabrizio Basso, this guy is, let me get something up from him here. This guy is a badass. There's a video of him trying out trumpets at AR Resonance. It's totally sick. Wait till you hear this. This is crazy. Let's see, present. Bear with me for a second, guys. I'm not expert at this. Okay. Check this out, dude. I don't think this is the video. This is the video. Sorry. Check this out. I can't believe this guy. Like, you can check him out at your leisure, man. But like, this is, you know, probably a lot of you guys haven't even heard of this guy, and he's ridiculous. You know, the stuff he can do. And again, he doesn't breathe in the conventional way. You know what I mean? So like, everybody's going to find their own way, and we got to share to get there. You know what I mean? So we can, hey, you know, maybe I'll try this. Like Chris just said, maybe I'll try, you know, paying more attention to where my tongue is. For me, that's a huge thing, man. Like the shape inside of your mouth. Like Adam Rappa and I think the same about this. We've had long discussions about it. And he believes that there's a different shape inside your mouth for every single note on the instrument. That's why you should be able to just breath attack a high C at piano, you know, with, you know, just holding your horn with 2 fingers. You should be able to play a high C piano with no articulation and get the shape right. And once the shape right, then loud and soft is easy. Yeah, whoa. Yeah, this guy's unreal. Check out some of his other stuff. He's got a ton of stuff on YouTube. To me, he's like one of the greatest trumpet players to not yet be famous. Adam Rappa's getting famous because he's building some really killer horns. But I'm sad to see him playing less. You know, I would like to see him playing a lot more. Anybody want to join the chat? I'll put the link again in the chat. So there it is. If anybody wants to come and join the chat, please do. I got my electric guitar back in October 22. Never in my life I played it. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Any more questions or anything like that? Let's see what else I can play for you. There's another video. Okay. Again, I'm probably going to take a little bit of shit for this, but honestly, if you're going to put stuff out, on the internet, then you got to be open to criticism, period. Like, you know, and this particular video, some of the things that are said and just, I don't know. It's, let me see.
Practice room, banging their head against the wall. Why do that?
This is Ben Wright, second trumpet with the Boston Symphony Orchestra, trumpet teacher at the New England Conservatory of Music, and curator of the Sound Truth Library. As you can hear, he is very passionate about education, specifically trumpet education. You might be wondering, what would the reason possibly be for people to be banging their head?
See, this is what I mean about the whole cable news, like approach to, you know, trying to help people with trumpet playing. I don't think this is the right way to do it. And I know Ben really well. I've known Ben for 30 years, you know, and this isn't a slam on him. So they go on and on and on. And then Ben has this huge library of stuff that you can play along with, you know. And again, like some of the things, you know, that are said are just, I don't know, not helpful.
Huge proportion of even really good trumpet players, young trumpet players, Beethoven, Brahms, you can play.
Let me see if I can find this clip.
To be able to hear Mike Sachs play.
People who want
I want to find this clip. Okay, like Ryan Beach is a badass player.
piece, I chose the recording where I was going to play first, and I was playing with Ben's recording of him playing second and third. This is what that recording sounds like.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, you know, guys, like music -1 is not a, you know, that's not how I won 6 out of 40 auditions. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't do music -1. All the tools you need to like figure out how to play the orchestral repertoire is by Phil Smith's excerpt CD. Like that need has been filled a long time ago, you know. And again, I understand the business aspect. You know, I got to make some money, sell this course and all this stuff. But man, I think that your time is better spent doing other things. And I know I'm going to take shit for that, but you know, I'm friends with these guys. Hopefully they understand if they're going to put it out on the internet, I'm going to have my say about it. I really want to find this other part. This is funny. I think this is it.
Kind of resource.
Especially if you're using it like I suggest, where you're listening to examples, it might take a while to get your Alpine Symphony up to as well as what I'm doing.
Okay, that's classic. You know? It might take you a while to play Alpine Symphony as good as me. You know, maybe that's not what he meant, but I don't like the way it comes across. It's not the way I teach anyway. What just happened? Okay, we're still here. So let's get some feedback on that. I'll see if there's some more questions here. Okay, I'm not a trumpet player. Sergei Nikaryakov, most natural brass player I've come across. I agree that he is unbelievable, and he's done groundbreaking things with the trumpet that have never ever been done before. And he's stacking W's that way. Like he's he's doing things that make me want to quit on a regular basis. Nobody's ever played the kind of stuff that he's playing. I do agree. It's a pretty cool thing to showcase in my room, though. Yeah, the guitar. Yeah, cool. Awesome. John, do you keep your tongue flat while playing higher notes, or do you give it a tunnel shape? I think about, no, I'm here for geeky questions. You don't have to apologize for that. I keep my tongue between my molars at all times. So only the middle part of my tongue is actually moving. And it's basically going from A to E, like it's arching in the front, like a snake, or like a cat that's hissing, you know. You can see Adam Rapper doing that in a lot of his videos too. But what it does is it keeps your tongue from doing this kind of lateral motion, which I don't think is a good thing, right? We want to minimize the range of motion with the tongue, with our articulation, and the most efficient positions we can get it in to control the airspeed. But usually it's a up and down motion. Even the articulation is more of a, like I agree with Peter Bond. Again, he put out this great video. You can check out his Facebook page. He put out a video recently that I shared with my trumpet studio about articulation. He says da 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 da. So that makes total sense. That keeps the tip of your tongue pretty much in contact with the lower lip when you can say that da 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 da, and then the whole thing stays nice and compact in the front. And then the resonance that you get out of the horn is like a million times better than when your tongue is back in your mouth. You can actually do that. You can hold a long tone, and as you're holding the long tone, just fool around and move your tongue around in different positions and shapes, and you can hear the sound go like the sound will get all weird, and then all of a sudden you'll hear it get really resonant, right? And resonance is where the money is, bro, for sure. The BW thing is too much. I'm not gonna the BW. What is BW? Yeah, I mean, yeah, prepackaged trumpet information is not nearly as helpful as if these guys all got on a live and, you know, kind of donated some of their time. You know what I mean? They're all making pretty good money. Why not? You know, I think it's cool. Sit down for a couple hours and get a community going here, share ideas, share recordings, share, you know, life experiences and stuff like that. Again, any questions any of you guys want to ask me about any aspect of the business, chamber music or orchestral stuff, you know, any part of it. I've been to tons, and I'd be happy to share it, as much of it as I can share without getting in trouble at work. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you're going to be given that much advice, you know, and you're going to talk like that, then you need to miss less notes. I'll just leave it at that. You know. Yeah, da 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 da. Yeah. Oh, Peter and I are really good friends, and he had a ball watching my takedown, my dissection too. Yeah. I mean, if you if you know me, you get my sense of humor. I'm not as big of a dick as a lot of people think I am. Any other questions? I'll put the link up again if somebody is brave enough to come and share something. Wow, 50 minutes we've done this already. Wow. Can you excuse me just for 1 second, guys? So, we can talk about equipment. We can talk about should I date somebody in the orchestra? I don't recommend that. That's why I ended up in Asia. Because I dated a flute player in my first orchestra, and my quality of life went down, I'll tell you, after the breakup. So I had the good fortune to come over here to Asia and start over. Best decision I ever made. It's been so long since I've been back to the US. Like the last time I was there was like 2016. I basically only go back for funerals. Yes, I'm from Brockton. I'm from Brockton, Mass, originally. What's your take on Pandolfi's idea of playing on top of the sound? Yes, I totally agree. I totally agree. Like, the thing is, the big misconception is that people are playing loud. Like, you know, when I was growing up, I used to think the Chicago Symphony guys played so loud, you know, and you just picture them blowing their asses off, and Bud would turn red and all that stuff. But when you get up close to them, that it's not that they're playing loud; they're playing resonant. You know what I mean? And they're like playing right in the sweet spot of the sound triangle, which I made videos about the sound triangle. Like if every slot in the horn is shaped like a triangle, you got your fattest, most ringing, most projecting sound with the least amount of resistance right there at the bottom. And then as you go up, the sound gets like that. And I'll tell you what, like when I see somebody come in and they got their slide out to there, I already know what they're going to sound like, you know? So I challenge my students all the time to play with the slide as far in as possible, you know? That way you can get the mouth open enough to hit that bottom part of the triangle. And I have some lip slurs and stuff that I show them to do to kind of really feel where that is. And another way you can find is you can use a Harmon mute without the stem. Excuse me. You take the stem out of the Harmon mute, and if the Harmon mute isn't buzzing, then you're not in the bottom of the pitch. That buzz sound in the Harmon mute goes away if you're in the high part of the triangle. And also lip slurs and all that stuff are really difficult if you're playing in the wrong part of the partial. So I'm super, super anal about that. I do a lot of lip bends with my kids. And I, you know, have them play a half step down from what they're fingering, and to actually practice articulating. Like for instance, if you play C fingerings, but you play a B natural scale, and actually articulate the notes, that will really get your tongue and mouth in the right shape. And I don't know if I can demonstrate this right now. I have a practice muted. I don't know if you're going to be able to hear this. But if I play like a C scale, and I use a C scale fingering, but I play B natural. And I do that all the way up to high C. And it really strengthens your corners, but it doesn't allow your tongue to go out of shape if you're articulating a bent note. It's really cool, actually. I get really good results from it. Yeah, but it's all about the resonance. It's all about, you know, getting the most out of the horn for the least amount of input, the most output for the least amount of input. Especially when you're trying to play over 100 people, because when you're in the middle of a Mahler symphony or something like that, like 7 or any of them really, 9, 5, or 10. I mean, there's times where you need to get over the whole orchestra, and you can't do it from, you know, physical strength. You have to have a better idea in your mind of hearing that ringing sound and just letting your body do it. Good questions. Good questions. Keep them coming. 9 people still here. Hit the like. Thanks for joining me tonight. This is fun. What else can I show you on YouTube that I find useful? Let me see what's in my history here. Yes. Okay. Again, friends of mine, Ryan Beach, all these guys, friends of mine. But I just want to show you this other video here. I mean, the title of this, 4 habits that will make you a better trumpet player. I mean, that's a pretty bold statement, man. I mean, is there really such thing? Like, I can watch this video and I'm going to be a better trumpet player? I don't believe in this approach, guys. I don't believe in it. The prepackaged thing, making content, prepackaged content. Maybe I could watch that and I could get like something out of it. But I don't think all 4 things are going to make me a better trumpet player. I haven't really watched it yet. I just don't like the title. And I don't like that that's kind of how the whole YouTube business works, right? I mean, it's like you got to come up with like a fancy thumbnail and a title that's going to grab you like that. I mean, is it constructive for what we're doing here on the horn? I don't know. I'm going to ponder that while I get some more wine. My pleasure, Kevin. That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm going to be here for. Hopefully, I don't know. What do you? I want you guys feedback. Like, how often would you like to see me do this? Like once every couple of weeks, once a month, once a week. I mean, tell me what you think. Do you have any tips for lip trills? I'm working on them right now and want to get that click between every slur. Yes, I think it's page 125. I'm pretty sure 125 in the Arbin book. The G to B natural lip slur. These are my first notes on this stainless steel mouthpiece. It feels wicked slippery. This one. that is the way that you're going to learn how to play lip trills. It's just, you just do it up higher, but you're getting the note to change only with the tongue. This is really important. And this is another problem that a lot of players have, is when younger players, when they're working out of books and stuff like that. I mean, there's so many different ways to interpret exercises, like Chickowitz. You know, I hear people play this exercise wrong all the time. You know, like, the whole point of the exercise is to keep your air completely wide open and still. And you watch some people play it in front. Da, 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 da. You see their Adam apple jumping around and stuff like that, and they think that they're doing it right. You know, that's a really, it might sound like a simple exercise, but it's actually, it takes a lot of concentration to play that exercise and not adjust your throat, you know, to push down the valves and not do some other physical thing. It's, you know, you got to know what your goals are with different exercises. So we know that Clark is fingers, right? So, you know, Schlossberg is flexibility and slurs. But Chickowitz is like, it's a flow thing. It's teaching you how to get some flow, I think. Thank you, Kevin. Thanks very much for showing up, mate. Appreciate it. This is fun. It's fun for me. If I was hanging out with you guys, I'd just be watching YouTube videos and getting annoyed. I think I've watched some of Matt's videos. They're really good. I like them. I do have big respect, though, for these guys that don't teach. You know what I mean? Like this, like Bud Herseth didn't teach. Like, he didn't like it. Because it's tough, you know. I mean, the way I look at the trumpet is like, it can be as confusing or as simple as you want it to be. I mean, seriously, like, it can be completely mystifying how to make the thing work, or you can just, you know, okay, I'm going to let the mouthpiece isolate my lips. I'm going to blow the airstream through there. My lips will vibrate, resultant to the added back pressure of the extra tubing. I'm not going to isometrically mash my chops together to make sound. I'm going to keep a nice big, you know, teeth aperture that won't change from high to low, so my sound stays the same. And I'm going to learn how to make my tongue move independent of my jaw, which is the hardest thing for all of us, because when we talk and when we eat and in life, you know, our jaw and tongue move at the same time, but it's a death sentence for brass playing, right? Your jaw has to be like still, so you can maintain a nice open teeth aperture, and you have to be able to move your tongue very, you know, flexibly without compromising your jaw position. I don't know if you remember this, but we had a lesson. All the conversation was about the industry. That lesson's why. My pleasure, man. My pleasure. I don't think that my employer is in this chat. I mean, like, I avoided orchestra playing for as long as I could because it's corporate. It's like a corporate music factory, basically. And I wanted to be a quintet player, but I also wanted to eat. And my quintet career fell apart after 10 years, and I was going to quit playing trumpet altogether. And then my friend talked me into taking some orchestra auditions, and I fall in love with the orchestral repertoire and the challenges. And I got great colleagues and all that stuff, but there is corporate-like frustrations in the industry that are sometimes difficult to get past. My job here in Singapore is the best example of a symphony orchestra, a healthy symphony orchestra that I've been in or even heard about. So again, I'm like pinching myself. I'm like in Disneyland here. We got a great management team. We got a great CEO. Hans Graf is with us for another year. We're going to do a search for another music director after that. We got great programs. Our concert hall is going to be under construction, under renovation for the first 6 months of next year. So the management decided to take us on tour while we're waiting for the hall to get renovated. So they're putting in a streaming system in the hall. They're building in like a $2 million or $5 million live streaming thing into the Esplanade Concert Hall. So that should be pretty sick. And yeah, we're going to go to Japan and Australia. So yeah, it's fun, man. Like we had Bartok Concerto 2 weeks ago. And then we had like Beethoven second last week, so it's like, it's like a roller coaster, like the repertoire. It's cool. And we got, we have a big Respighi program coming up in May. We're doing Fountains and Festive Romaine, which is a huge piece. It has 7 trumpets in it. Yeah, a couple other big programs, I think, before the end of the year. Any more questions or things you want to talk about? Who did I study with? Okay. This is kind of a long story. Well, when I first started playing, I studied with 2 guys in high school. One of them's name is Jay Daly, still playing his ass off, and Vincent Macrina, who is a director of bands at Brockton High School, awesome trumpet player. So I had 2 really great trumpet teachers start me out with all the right fundamentals. So I was super lucky. And man, I can tell you like how many people are not lucky and they get they put the mouthpiece down the wrong place and leave it there for 10 years, man. It's hard to undo that. So I'm super lucky for that. But then when I went to Boston University, when I was really young, I heard the Empire Brass playing. I wanted to study with Ralph Smedvig, who was the solo trumpet in the Empire Brass. I heard him play. I said, I want to sound like that. I want to study with that guy, no matter what, So I applied only to Boston University. That's where he was teaching at the time, to get there. And then he refused to take me. He said, I only take grad students. I'm not going to teach you. I was like, okay, thanks. So then I studied with this guy named Charlie Lewis. He was the second trumpet player in Empire Brass when they first started out, when they all met at Tanglewood. He was before Tim Morrison. So I studied with Charlie Lewis for, I think, a couple of years. No, 1 year with Charlie, I think. And then I studied with Rolf. He said, all right, because I kept bugging him. And he never played my lessons, and he was a jerk. He was a super jerk. He's dead now, and, rest in peace and all that. But he almost destroyed my career. And it got to the point where I had to drop him as a teacher because he was putting me on a wicked head trip, and I was going to quit school and quit trumpet. So I dropped him as a teacher, and I studied with Roger Vazan my last 2 years at Boston University. Great decision. Roger Vazan's a former principal trumpet in Boston Symphony, a French guy. Also deceased now. Incredible teacher. Taught me how to transpose, and it was really hard for me to learn how to transpose, but he made sure I knew how to do it, and I use transposition all the time now. I mean, I teach it. My students hate me for it too, but transposition is super important. So yeah, my teachers, Jay Daly, Vincent Macrina, another guy named Tom Palance. That's when I was younger. And then in college, it was Charlie Lewis, Ralph Smedvig, and Roger Vazan. I took a couple lessons with Jeff Curnow. He's an awesome dude, great player. Jeff Curnow actually saved my career in college because I was going to quit. And he said, don't quit, just drop Rolf as your teacher. You'll be fine. I had to cancel the previous lesson to play at a booking conference. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot to the business. I don't miss running a brass quintet, man. That was a lot of work, but it was really fun, and I don't regret any of it. It was an amazing time. But I like the orchestra business. I mean, in terms of stability and, you know your schedule a year out. And we rehearse in the mornings here, and then I can go to the school and teach in the afternoons. We get like Chinese New Year and Christmas, we get a couple weeks off, and then we have a longer break in June. You can make plans, you know. Let's see. Do you plan to keep the lives hanging on the channel? Potential rewatch? Absolutely. Yeah. I'll leave it up. How do I approach teaching transposition? It's a hard, I mean, my mother was a really good musician, and she had perfect pitch, and I think I just got it from her. So having perfect pitches really makes transposition really super difficult. And I basically teach it the same way that Roger Voisin taught it to me, was just forcing you to read ahead, and most importantly, to keep playing. We would play these Mel Broyles transposing duets. They would change transposition like every 4 bars. So it wouldn't look like a melody at all. It was like weird, but it would sound like a melody. Like the end result, like it'd be like trumpet in E flat, and then it'd be trumpet in A, trumpet in F, like every 6 bars. And every time I would stop to be like, what's the next note? He would be counting me off again. Like, come on, you can't stop. You can't stop. You can play every note wrong, but you got to continue. Try to read ahead. You shouldn't be looking at the same note you're playing, you know? And that's true for sight reading too, but for transposition, it's really super important that you just keep reading, and eventually you'll start to get more and more of the right notes. So for instance, like basically my students, when I teach them transposition, if it's let's say I teach transposition using the melodic cute little melodies in the Arban book. I can't remember what they call them. They're like these lyrical, short little pieces. Like, I don't have an Arban book here, but the Art of Phrasing, I think it's called, or something. And there's like 150 of these tunes back there, and I just make them transpose those. So if one's in C, I'll say, okay, I usually teach transposition on C trumpet, and I'll say, okay, we're going to play this one up a minor third, trumpet in E flat, you know, what's the new key? And then they have to tell me what the new key is. And then I say, so what are you going to do next? And I'm going to look and see what accidentals show up in the score, and come up with a plan to deal with those. Because if you're going to play, you know, a piece that's in C and then you get a C sharp, that means E natural, right? If you're playing up a minor third. So yeah, and just making them do it over and over and over again. And they don't like it, man. And it's like, sometimes it's hilarious to think that I get paid for putting them through that, but you can't show up to a gig, I mean, and not be able to transpose, or you won't be asked back. And yeah, it's a transposing instrument, man. We gotta do it. And then once they get it, you know what I mean? Once they figure it out, they're like, okay, cool. Like, not a single one of my students has been like, okay, I'm never going to be able to do this. They say that for the first month, and then by the end of 1 year, they've already got a total grasp on it. And I mix it up, you know, trumpet in A, trumpet in D, trumpet in B flat, like all with a C trumpet, trumpet in E flat, E natural sometimes. A lot of times I do E transposition. up a major third, and then F. Good questions. Any other question? Sorry, I'm eating nuts while we talk, but I didn't eat that much today. I recommend getting a motorcycle if you want to improve your trumpet playing. Get a motorcycle. Ten people, no questions. Are these trolls? Any question you want to ask? Go for it. And here's the link if you want to come on. If you want to cam up. Crickets. How to improve pedal tones. My previous second trumpet player, Jun Akibi, this Japanese guy, can play the most outrageously badass pedal C on a B flat trumpet. I can get a reasonably good one on a C trumpet. For some reason, I cannot get the B flat one to really lock in, but he does it. But I'll tell you what, I have been getting a huge benefit out of that I never even dreamed of doing before, like maybe 6 months ago. It sounds ridiculous, but like double pedal tones. I never played with those at all. I always was like, what are you doing making that sound? You know what I mean? Like I'm principal trumpet, so I never have to play low notes anyway. So I was like, what is the benefit from it, you know? But I have to say that it's made a big difference in keeping everything in a forward shape, because you have to bring your whole bottom lip out of the mouthpiece to get a good stable double pedal C. So I really enjoyed working on those over the past couple months. Just perseverance, I think. Just experiment, you know. It's going to be a different sensation for everybody. I think you got to just keep trying it. All right, Chris, have a good one, man. Thanks for checking in, man. See you on the next one. Cheers, mate. How about the age factor playing trumpet? You know, some players in their 70s, older, still perform. Absolutely. They're getting older, and like people are playing later and later and later and killing it, really killing it. Doc Severinson's still playing. He's like in his 90s. Bud still sounded really good when he retired. If you play efficiently and you can keep up with it, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think you have to practice as much as Doc Severinson does. I mean, the guy is a practice freak, you know. I just think if you play efficiently and as you maintain a pursuit of efficiency, the older you get, then you can play a long time. Like, I'm 10 times more of an efficient trumpet player now than I was 20 years ago. And 25 years ago, I was working really hard to play. And like, you know, Bartok and Concerto would have scared, you know, I would have had a couple of sleepless nights over it. But now I understand like how to play like a lot more than I did 20 years ago. And I'm like way more efficient than I used to be. And it's a lot more fun to play music when you feel like you know what you're doing. Gotta go. Thanks for the stream. Cool, man. Thanks for stopping in, Wojciech. Appreciate it. Killer. Yeah, I think you can play until you're I mean, I'm forced into retirement here in Singapore when I'm 62 or 63. Like that's as late as they'll let me work here. That's why I'm getting a retirement plan going, and getting some investment property, and so I have an income after I don't have one from Trumpet. And that's not far away. I'm 55 next 2 months from now. 55. It's only like 8 more years. I'll probably do some freelancing and stuff though after I retire. I don't think I'm gonna play. I think I'll retire earlier than that and do freelancing and teach more. But I don't see myself full-time principal trumpet for more than another 5 years. Because there's other stuff I want to do. There's other things I'm interested in. Anybody else? Anybody want to join? Yeah, teaching would generate income. But the way I look at it is if I can build this channel up, right? And I can, we can have a community here and then we can get Google to pay for it. You know what I mean? And then you guys, you know what I mean? I can teach here and Google will pay me instead of you guys. But I don't know. Who knows if YouTube will even be around in 10 years? Any other questions, comments, dreams, wishes, aspirations? It's what is it? 10:30 now. It's very quiet. 8 people, but very, very quiet. But I guess that's good. If you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all. Hello, Yishin. Hello. '62 is young. American orchestras do not have age limits as far as I'm aware. But Singapore retirement age is, it's industry. It's like countrywide. It doesn't matter what you do. You have to hand in your keys after you turn 62. Which is fine for me, honestly. I've had a very enjoyable career so far, like stewarding principal trumpet chairs in some really great orchestras with some really great colleagues and just lifelong friends they are, just amazing. I can't believe, like sometimes I think about my life and I can't believe it's my life. And I know that I'm over here in Asia and stuff and like, us guys playing over in Asia, we're not like in the big 5, whatever, break. We're doing the same job, and any orchestra you're doing the same job as anybody else is doing. It's the same repertoire, same pressure. It's all the same. when you join an orchestra, like the job position is exactly the same in Singapore as it would be in the New York Philharmonic, except we don't play as many concerts. And I love that. We do like one show a week here. I mean, I wouldn't want to be in the Chicago Symphony where you're playing like a Thursday night show, a Friday night show, a Saturday night show, and a Sunday matinee. And then you get Monday off, and then you rehearse Tuesday and Wednesday, and you start a whole nother program. I mean, that's a lot of playing, man. I love to play, but that's a lot of playing. I like our schedule, like Tuesday, rehearsal in the morning, Wednesday, rehearsal in the morning, Thursday, rehearsal in the morning, Friday, dress rehearsal in the morning, concert, Saturday, Sunday off, Saturday, Sunday, Monday off. You know, to me, that sounds like a good schedule. Yeah. What's your opinion about Kat Anderson G in 20 minutes exercise? I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with that. Is there something on YouTube about it? Kat Anderson, what is it? G in 20 minutes. Let me see if there's something on YouTube about it. The Whisper G versus the Costello pencil. I'll watch Larry Marigolano's video on it. Let's see. Oh, that's hurting my ears, man. Can you guys hear that? Holy shit. I'm deaf. Fuck. I really don't want to hear anything like that again. I'm sorry, mate. Yichin, I don't think Yichin, I don't think I can comment on it because I'm not really familiar with it. But I will look into it, and if you come to the next live, I'll answer your question. I do like whisper tones, if that's what it's about. Whisper tones are good. Like trying to get the sound to just barely, like not even come out the bell, just like the sound just inside the tubing is a useful thing to do. Eight people in the room. Smash the like. I wonder how many, let's see. Let's see here. 8 people watching. There's 4 likes. That's not a good thing. 8 people watching and 4 likes, guys. Yeah, sorry about that. I will familiarize myself with that and try to comment on it next time. I think the pencil is a really useful thing in trying to find out what your ideal jaw position is, you know? To get the pencil to be like, all right, level with your nose, you know? Because that gets your jaw open up about a quarter of an inch, like as big as your pinky. And it also gets the jaw just out slightly. You know, we're not shoving the jaw forward, but we're opening, like dropping the jaw and letting it come a little bit forward to keep the high pressure off of the top lip, which is where all the sound comes from. Questions, comments? You're all welcome to. I'm trying to think if there's another video I want to show you guys. Oh, this is another guy I really like, Brian Davis. Brian Davis, Airflow Music. Have you guys heard of him? I really like his videos. Because again, like he doesn't come off like he's got all the answers. And he's humble, and he like gives good quality information that just about everybody can apply and benefit from, and he's a badass player, man. Dude can play. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you very much, Chen. That was fun. I did that during COVID. I tried to stay busy during COVID, so I did lots of music projects to try to stay in it. Havanas, yes. Prayer of St. Gregory, I think, is written by him. I play that. I used to play in church quite a lot when I was back in the States. I used to play in church quite a lot. And I used to play the Havanas, Prayer of St. Gregory. I mean, it's kind of morose, but I played it at funerals. I played quite a bit of funerals and stuff like that in the States. Beautiful writing, though. Good stuff. Eight people in the room. We're going 1.5 hours already. John Dante, trumpet owner. I thought that would be funny. I still think it's funny. Any other questions? 9 people. 9 people, no questions. You just want to watch me eat cashews? Yes, I recommend it. The question is, can a child play braces with braces, play the trumpet? Absolutely. In fact, I think it's one of the best things I ever did for my trumpet playing, because I had braces in high school, and I didn't use wax. Sometimes if you play a brass instrument, the dentist will give you the wax to kind of make it so the metal doesn't like jam into your lips. I never used the wax. I was told not to by my teacher. He said it'll just force you to use your air correctly. And best thing I ever did. When my braces came off, it was like, wow, But you can't use pressure or you'll bleed, You can only use enough pressure to keep a seal, which is exactly how you're supposed to play without braces. So I recommend it, yeah. It can be quite discouraging to the student at first, I think, but for me, I was over it. I was so excited to play the trumpet when I was in 4th grade, and there was no way I was going to let braces get in the way. Yeah, it shouldn't be a bad thing, to answer your question. We got 10 people in the room. Smash the like button. Let's see. Other questions, comments? $11 people. I can hear 11 people breathing in the room. We'll keep this going to 11. Yes. Yes, never fear. Braces are not a problem. You'll be fine. Ron, do you have a mouthpiece recommendation for students with braces? Something with a, like what age, Ron? Like a elementary school or high school or college? I think a 3C is basically a great mouthpiece for anybody that's not specializing in any kind of certain type of playing. The only reason I play big mouthpieces because I play in an orchestra, and even my mouthpiece is not as big as it used to be because I've learned that brilliance is a good thing, not a bad thing. So I would say 3C. 3C is really good because it's got a nice flat rim on it and a really forgiving inner bite to the rim. And I played a 3C for many years, and I still play a 3C on pops. So, wow, some people, 15 people in the room. Holy crap, that's awesome. How regular are these live sessions, Leonard? As often as you want. Can you guys let me know how often you want to do this? And I'm happy to do it. How is my daily practice routine? My daily practice routine is how to say, okay, so my job's principal trumpet. So it's like different program every week. It's a workflow that I have to deal with. And then I teach like a lot of hours, maybe 10, sometimes 6 to 10 hours a week I teach. So when I'm teaching, I'm playing a lot with my students and for them because I think it's really important. So my daily practice routine is a lot of times it's going through like fundamentals and stuff with my students. But in terms of warming up and stuff like that, I don't warm up. I haven't warmed up in maybe 5 or 6 years. Joe Bergstaller doesn't warm up either. James Morrison doesn't. It's not like I'm not saying I don't warm up because I want you to be, hey, look at me, I don't warm up. That's not what it's like. I don't warm up because I know what I'm doing, and I feel like when I warm up, I feel like I need to warm up. That means I have to check something, like I'm not sure of myself, and it's ridiculous. I've been playing trumpet for like 40 years. Like if I don't know what I'm doing by now, I got problems. So daily practice routine, when I do practice by myself like that, it's always fundamentals, articulation, flexibility, and flow, like lyrical playing. Yeah. I love the Arbin characteristic studies. They're great. You know, if you can play them like really well, then you're doing everything right. Serene Dion. I saw your audition video. Very good. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm glad you enjoy it. How does living in Singapore compare to Malaysia? It's way better. I mean, I loved KL. KL is really good, but I love living in Singapore. It's super safe, super clean. It's crazy expensive, but everything works, and it's just a nice place to wake up every day. You don't have to really worry about anything. It's super safe here. But I do love Malaysia. I think Malaysia is amazing, and the people in Malaysians are amazing people. The government's just super corrupt, and it's a tragedy what happened to the orchestra there, which was completely unnecessary and disgusting. But that's like, I'm over it. Anyways, good question. Working on Prayer of St. Gregory now, consider myself intermediate level. Seems like a good piece. Yes. Yeah, that piece is all about sound. Yeah, nice ringing, vibrating sound. How do I like my new Kuhn trumpet? Ben is talking about my new rotary trumpet. I just got a Rico Kuhn Professional Model C trumpet. And I have to say, it's pretty badass. I really like it a lot for a rotary trumpet. But the more I play different rotary trumpets, the more I'm convinced that it's just way tougher to play them. I don't want to say tougher, but they put up with a lot less sloppy technique than a piston trumpet does. I mean, a rotary trumpet especially is so finicky about tongue position, I find. It just will not forgive you if your tongue is not in the right position. The notes will just come out sounding dead. You can't get any vibrancy in them. It doesn't matter what brand rotary trumpet you play or anything. It's just, they're really picky. But yeah, I love my new Rico Kuhn, and I got a great deal on it. And yeah, it's my last rotary C trumpet. I do have some horns for sale, guys, if anyone's interested. I live in China. Can you teach online? My daughter, 8 years old, has some basic trumpet skills. Yeah, we could talk about doing some consultations. Why not? Why not? You can email me, johndante@gmail.com. JONDANTE here. I'll put it in the chat. This is my email. $15 people in the room. Killer. If anybody wants to join the chat, if you want to join the stream, you can click this link that I'm putting up now. And you can cam up. So again, I'm happy to make some videos for you guys in this community, but I think that we'll all get a lot more out of the lives once we get in a rhythm and more people know about it. I'm not charging for any of this. So, you know, I'm not like a famous person, but if you think you could get some benefit asking me something, I'm happy to answer it. Hour and 45 minutes, 15 people in the room breathing. I can hear it breathing. 16 people. Yeah, I know it's hard to believe I'm going to be 55 when I act like this, right? You're only as young as you feel, right? Okay, 14 people. We'll keep this going until 11, guys. I got to teach tomorrow, so I'll wrap it up at 11. But can you let me know what day of the week or how many times a month you want to do this? I'm happy to do it. Breathing exercise, yeah. If you're serious, just yawn. Just yawn before you play, and don't try to expel all the air. Again, Pete Bond put out a great video of this a couple days ago. You feel like your body is a cylinder. You fill up and then you sit on the air. Yeah. You know, you don't try to blow as hard as you can unless you want to hurt yourself and get a bad sound. I would say this is a pretty successful live so far. This is the most people I've ever had. I think the last time I did a live, I had like 2 people show up. Let me see what's going on here. 16 likes. 7 likes. Let's get the likes up, guys. $15 people, no questions. Okay. How is your approach when you have to study a new piece? Okay. Well, there's 2 different approaches. I mean, there's one approach when there's recordings of pieces available to study. Like, for instance, like if it was the first time I was ever playing, like whatever, Mahler 5, like if I never played it before, there's plenty of great recordings. So I would study a score. I'd have like my part in the score and listen to multiple recordings, at least 3. And just kind of sit on that and take what I like, you know, from all of them and try to incorporate it in my performance. The tricky part is when there's no available recording of a piece, like when the ink is still wet, in which case you just have to isolate the difficult passages and practice them super slow and super long and speed them up slowly. But a lot of people, when they get into trouble, when they slow things down because they start playing slow and short, which just makes you tight, right? So it's important when you're slowing down a passage to play as long as you can. So when you speed it up, you still have good airflow. That's not, you don't get tight. But recordings help a lot. And I also like to memorize difficult passages. I'm a huge fan of memorizing music. Exactly like when you're in a car going on a trip, you're not going to have a map spread out on your lap as you're driving, right? So when you're playing music, I mean, you're on an artistic endeavor when you play music, right? Like when you create music. So having to look at the recipe while you're making it is kind of taking up a lot of energy that you could be using to be a great musician. You know what I mean? So like, for instance, all these weird passages in Don Juan, all this trumpet and E stuff, it's got to be from memory. You can't trying to look at that and play it at the same time because it looks really weird because it's an E with a lot of accidentals. But if you just memorize it, then you can, you know, it's very confidence instilling if you feel like you know it without having to even look at it. And I play all my auditions from memory. That's always been the way I've done auditions. I've taken like 38 auditions, I think. And every one of them's from memory. Oh my God. Any great Rolf Smedvig stories from your time at Tanglewood? There's a guy who came to Tanglewood, like we were auditioning for, this is pretty funny. We were at the Kuzovitsky Music Shed at Tanglewood at the main house, and like Rolf was doing a warm-up class, and one of the trumpet players was a guy with a ponytail, like long hair dude, and he played a high C and passed out and fell down on the ground. And Rolf was like, "Is she all right? Is she gonna be okay?" You know, it's kind of funny. I don't know. There's too many bad feelings there with me and Rolf, I think. You know, the worst thing I discovered about him was his personality. Because when I was younger, listening to him play and listen to class brass and hearing the beauty in his sound, I just kind of assumed he was going to be like that. Some of that would be in his personality, but not the case. Yeah, I should just leave it there. Amazing player, but not a nice person. I played at his wedding. Rolf Smidvig, I played at his and Kelly Hollub's wedding at Tanglewood. We got married. Mundi Gatala, Armando Gatala was there. Like all the heavies from the Boston scene, all the BSO guys were there. But yeah, Gatala was at Rolf's wedding. And my brass quintet played. It was pretty cool. I have photos somewhere of it. Yes, a complicated man for sure. The understatement of the year. Yeah, Luke, thanks for coming. Thanks for coming by. Let me know if there's anything you'd like to see on the channel. I would like it to be like subscriber-driven content. 11 people in the room. Tanglewood was an amazing place, so I really recommend anybody that hasn't been to Tanglewood. It's really worth seeing. It's in one of the most beautiful places in the Northeast, really. Any other questions? We're winding down here like another 8 minutes, I think, and then I'm going to call it a night. Any other questions about anything? I'll have one more splash of wine while you think of a question. Have I ever played in France? No, I haven't yet. I haven't. Yeah, I haven't. I haven't played in France or Italy or anything like that. We did a Europe tour. We did Germany and the Czech Republic. Is that correct? Yeah, I haven't been to France yet. I haven't even been to France. Any tips for practicing an apartment, man? Oh, it's the worst, isn't it? This is the best practice mute I've found. I think it's really good. But it's no fun playing with practice mutes. I can totally empathize with that. Try to do as little of it as possible. Like, honestly, is there any way you can go and even playing outside is better? If you're able to like go out someplace and play outside is better than like excessive playing. There's nothing worse than trying to practice and worry about disturbing someone else. You can't blow the horn right. It's just not good. So either play with a practice mute or, silent brass is okay. I have one, but every time I use it, it's like in 3 minutes I'm done with it because it's also weird. there's nothing like playing the open horn. So I would say if you can find even someplace outdoors to play, I would do that over trying to shed at home without, if you don't have a practice mute. Best Brass makes a pretty good practice mute too. It's a real small one. It's a silver color. It's really good. But this is a shh mute. It's made by one of my former colleagues' family in New Zealand. It's called the shh mute. It's quite good. I wonder how long it'll be before the stainless steel mouthpiece goes on eBay. It was pretty expensive, man. It was like $350. But if it solves my issue, then that's worth it. Any final thoughts or comments, tips? Bach or Yamaha? I play Yamaha now. I mean, this is a Bach trumpet. I got like 23 horns, man. Like, I got some really old Bach trumpets from the 60s or 50s. And then I have this that I didn't mean to buy, but I played it in the shop and I liked it so much. It's a 43 bell. I hardly ever even play B flat, but I played this thing and I just loved the way it sounded, so I got it. But technically, I'm a Yamaha artist, and I really love Yamaha stuff. I mean, I have both the New York and Chicago third generation C trumpets. I kind of alternate whatever I feel like. I mean, sometimes I like the Chicago C, sometimes I like the New York, and I have a really great New York B flat trumpet, Yamaha, the Gen 3, which is honestly the best B flat trumpet I've ever played. I can't believe the color that comes out of this thing. It's just, I'm never going to get rid of it. But I do hear from my friends at Bach that there's some pretty exciting stuff in the pipeline, and I'm open-minded to trying it, but I don't know. I don't know how much longer this dog's going to hunt. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm pretty comfortable right now. It's going to take some remarkable change in Bach stuff for me to, just stop playing what I'm playing on. I really like it a lot. But both are great. Thank you, Dante. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thanks for coming. What about silent brass mute? Yeah, silent brass mute's okay. Just make sure that you're not trying to shove a ton of air through it. Like, don't wear yourself out. And practice mutes, it's always going to suck playing on them. I mean, sometimes we have to do it, and I just have it. I try to not. I'll go to school to practice. I'm not going to sit here and actually try to get work done with a practice mute. And it's just more to play happy birthday to my son over FaceTime or something. Guys, this was wicked fun. This was wicked fun, man. So if you guys are down, can you, before I wrap things up, can you guys give me your thoughts about how often, can each of you say how often you would like to do this? And then I'll, it can just be a time where we can check in with each other and hang out. So if each person could let me know how many times in a month, once a month, twice a month, 3 times a month, every week, what are your thoughts? No thoughts. Nobody's saying anything. Just people are bailing out of the room. Twice a month or once a week? Okay. Cool. On Sundays. Okay, so twice a month then. That seems to be the twice a month, like every 2 weeks. That's cool. Okay, I'll try to do it on Sunday nights, and that'll end up being Sunday morning in the U.S. So, what do you think? 9 o'clock on a Sunday night, so that'll be 9 o'clock, 9 a.m. on Sunday morning. I can do that. My pleasure. My pleasure. This is great, guys. Thanks for the feedback. I'm glad that you think this is a good idea, and I appreciate all the new subscribers to my channel, and I'm excited to, I'll probably post some non-musical stuff on this channel now that I've shut my other one down, to give you more of a view into stuff. Very welcome, Leonard. Thanks for coming by. You're very welcome. I will do. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Really. This is great, guys. So spread the news to your friends or whoever you think might be interested in this. It'd be great if we get. I'm going to try to line up some other people to come in and talk a bit. I got this guy who I'm following who's doing this TCE stuff, and I think it'd be interesting to talk with him about it, like as a group. So I'll try to see if I can make contact with him and put that together. Guys, Sodi ka hajime mashite, domo arigato gozaimasu. Thank you very much for coming to Dante Speak tonight, first live. We'll do another one in about 2 weeks. I'll make an update on the community post on the channel to let you know exactly when the date will be. In the meantime, I'll try to get some other content up on the channel that I offloaded from my other channel. You guys are always welcome, and you can email me if you have any questions or if there's any kind of content that you want me to cover in the prepackaged format. But again, I think this is the best place to discuss like technical stuff. Anyway, thank you very much. Shishé. And we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Cheers, guys.